Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today. On behalf of the Louisiana Chemical Association and its 64 members, thank you so much to Dow, Methanex, and Sasol for being here. Crystal, Greta, Petra, thank you so much. You know, I talk to so many people who wonder, how do you even get into this industry? So thank you for joining me today. I want to talk a little bit about that. And then just the challenges that you faced or some opportunities that you've had in this industry. So, Petra, thank you for coming from Lake Charles.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think you probably have the most unique story, starting with a tennis scholarship.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm glad to represent Sasol today here. I came to the United States in 2006 on a tennis scholarship for McNeese State University. I'm originally from Croatia, which is in Europe. So I got the scholarship and I played tennis for 4 years. I got my degree in psychology. And following, I had decided to join the military, and I had learned more mechanical than I had ever had. So I decided to pursue a process technology degree at SUELA. I did the fast track program for 5 months. So I graduated from SUELA, I applied for Sasol, and I got a job as an operator. I started working as an operator. I learned a lot of the processes, how the product was made, all the good things, you know, all the things that I wanted to know starting from the bottom. And I was also being in the military, I wanted to learn more about logistics. So I wanted to start from the bottom to learn how it all came about to the top. So there was a position available as a logistics analyst, and I had applied and luckily got it. I was blessed. So I moved on to a logistics department, which was very different from what I was doing. I was outside loading rail cars, loading trucks, and I was wondering what happens when I load this truck, where is it going to? You know, it's going to a customer, but that's where my job ends. So I wanted to know more how the process went, and I started being a logistics analyst about a year into my job. I loved it. I loved doing what I did. I love my job. I'm just going to say that.
I think that's some of that military piece too. I know a lot of our chemical companies love to hire veterans and have a big push for that because of what you come with as far as the problem solving, the mechanical aptitude. Greta, did you ever think you were going to be working in the chemical industry?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I did not think I would be in the chemical industry. I took a typing course when I was in middle school actually, and found out I was really good at being a typist and could type really fast, very few errors. And so with that, I looked at, you know, what could my career be being a fast typer, and it was administrative assistant. So leaving middle school, I thought that's what I was going to be, an administrative assistant. And so then following that, when I got into high school, I took a course in accounting. So I really, you know, had an opportunity to really get experience in business. During the career day, we had some recruiters that came from an oil and gas industry, and I interviewed. And I was so extremely impressed with the oil and gas industry, I actually switched and decided to go into oil and gas to work for the best company in the entire world, Methanex. We are the leader producer of methanol. And I have loved Louisiana. The chemical industry is amazing. We give there's all types of opportunities available, and I am really enjoying actually being physically on a manufacturing location.
So see, that's interesting. I mean, you and Petra both moved here, but Crystal, I know you were born and raised here down in the River Parishes area. So how different was it for you?
So I will say, unlike Greta, who says in middle school she started thinking about what she wanted to be, Crystal could care the least. I was interested in being a kid. So I didn't think about what I was going to be. I always knew I was going to college. It was very clear in my family that my brother and I, we were going to go to school. But out of the blue one day, my mom asked, what did I want to be? And she was not the lady that you mess with. She really was not the one that you messed with. But it was a question that I was totally unprepared for, so I tried. And her response to me was, well, when I went to school, the only thing that an African-American female could do was be a teacher or a nurse. I believe there are other options for you, and I'd like you to explore them. And so then there was something to think about. And that summer, I went away. I spent my entire summer auditing classes at Georgia Tech, engineering classes. And I came home from that and said, okay, I want to be a chemical engineer. Now she was excited. So I did. I went off to school and became a chemical engineer. Ended up working for Dow, and I will celebrate 34 years later on this year. And so it has been a career that has truly provided for me and my family, and have moved between the Gulf Coast, back and forth from Louisiana and Texas, have done a stint up in our headquarters in Midland, Michigan, and have done roles that people may not think necessarily about chemical engineering with. But it's been a wonderful opportunity. I've seen multiple different sites. I am now, as you said, the site leader at our Plaquemine site. And so it's just been a wonderful opportunity to see the world from a different perspective and look at it. I always saw the plants. Never really thought I was going to work in one of them. I knew they could provide a good living, but I didn't necessarily see it as my home until I did it, and I came back, and so this has been absolutely wonderful. And now to be doing this at home is just like icing on a cake.
And it is. It's great to have you back home. You all had a unique path getting to the industry, but what do you think people's perception is of coming to work for our industry, especially as a woman?
I would say that as you started from the beginning, when you said people usually assume that you get the job because of this person, grandpa, father, or whoever. I think it's, for me, it was 90% work. I think it's 10% talent, 90% work. I think being a woman or anybody, any minority, you can succeed. You just have to put in the work. And I say to everybody out there, you can do whatever you want to do in life. You just have to push hard and work hard. That's how I got here. Nobody gave me anything. I work hard for it, and I'm proud of where I'm at and who I am. So if you want something, go for it.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. There is no, your dad or your grandfather worked here, and so you're going to get this position. You have to earn it. And working in the chemical industry, being so close to the product, you're seeing it, you're directly contributing to that product being made. It is an amazing feeling, but there's definitely not your granddad worked here, so you're gonna get this job.
So when you talk about perception, for me, Stacey, people think multiple different things. Being from the South and seeing all these plants every day, knowing somebody in almost every household on my street, there was somebody who worked in this industry. So I think I clearly knew that this industry provided a good living for people. And when we talk perceptions, I think people know that, but I also think there are things in industry now that people worry about with the chemical industry. And what I always tell people when I go is, look, as an engineer, as an operator in my facility, as a logistics person in our facility, we know what our job is. Our job is to keep the chemicals inside the pipes. And so I think once people get into our industry and see our industry from the inside, they can feel a lot safer about what we do. Every bit of our energy goes into how do we do this right? How do we take care of our employees? How do we take care of the community? And then how do we take care of the product and the chemicals that we produce? That is what we do. And so I think if people externally would look at that and think about that, I mean, would I want to walk in a place that didn't care about me as a person, didn't care about the community that we reside into? Personally, I wouldn't do that. So I think the perception, we got to get a lot around it. There's always been a story of it's been your parents, your grandparents, it's whatever. I tell people that are interested in Dow, it's about what you are going to put into it, exactly what these ladies just said. So I'm not even sure we get in anymore just because there's a relative in it. Yeah. As you said, we have a formal hiring process. You come in from that result.
And I love, Greta, what you shared here. I mean, these ladies are engineering and operations, but you from a finance, accounting perspective, I don't think young people understand the wealth of jobs even in our industry. We run these large sites like little cities. We need everything from accountants to doctors to you name it.
To lawyers, right. Everybody is inside of the fence line.
Yes.
Because my responsibility is accounting, purchasing, and warehouse. And so we see ourselves as customer service to the plant because, the number one thing is safety. Of course, that's always number one, but you want a reliable plant. And so we help do that by ensuring that you have the materials and equipment you need to perform those jobs to keep the plant running.
So I hear sometimes that our best and brightest are leaving the state, but I also hear that people want to get back home where family is and stay closer. So what would you tell people about the opportunities available right now in our industry.
You know, as I said earlier, we are hiring, and we, ever since I've been back, have constantly been hiring. And when you talk about hiring, we've got process operators that we're hiring. We're hiring logistics techs. We're hiring craftspeople. We're hiring engineers. We're hiring doctors and nurses at our plants. So there's just a broad spectrum of jobs that you can have inside our facility with different educational levels. So you can take this to, I'm a trade school, or I'm going to come right out of high school and I want you to teach me. We have an apprenticeship program. And so we take people from high school, put them in schools, but while they're in school and we're helping them with their education, we're also having them at the plant. Yes. And so there are just so many more things to do. You do not have to leave Louisiana to have a good job.
There you go.
You absolutely do not.
I agree.
Absolutely do not.
Greta, what do you think about that? I know you talk a lot to young people in Ascension Parish.
Follow your passion, of course, but there are so many different avenues. I mean, you don't even have to go to university. You can go to trade school and be a welder and make, you know, an extremely good living, or you can go to accounting or be an engineer. There's just so many different avenues. You know, follow your dreams, of course, but I love Ascension Parish. We have so much to offer in Ascension Parish. I'm on the board of Junior Achievement, and you know, on that board we are mentoring young ladies and introducing them to STEM. Just introducing them to what goes on in a chemical manufacturing industry and all of the paths that you can follow and pursue. And so just having that exposure, I think, does so much to young ladies. We
are very fortunate to have the community and technical college system across our state, as well as the way they partner with our universities. It's seamless for us, and that's a good thing for our industry. Petra, yes. What about you?
I agree. I mean, the PTech, where I went to, Sewella, they were partnering up with a lot of different chemical companies in the area. So, you know, it does give you an idea of what you are about to get yourself into. And like I always say, it's never too late to change your career either. So if you were pursuing something that you didn't like, you can always try and switch. I would say try, pursue it, keep going, and you know, until you find that passion. But they do provide a good living, and like I said, they take care of you like a family. When we had the hurricane, Cecil really took care of us. I mean, I'm extremely grateful, and I believe it's a great opportunity for everybody. Yes.
There's a future.
There's a future.
There's a bright future.
There's a bright future. I like that. There's a bright future.
Come to Cecil. There's a bright future.
Okay, so let the competition begin.
Let the competition begin. Thank you, ladies.
Yes,
thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today. On behalf of the Louisiana Chemical Association, we invite you to check out our social media channels and see what we're all about. There's a place here for you. Thank you for joining.